Shalom Akim. First and foremost, we're going to start off by giving all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yasharallah that rule well, and salutations to you Akim that are out there in the highways and the byways, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, and risking your freedoms and lives to do so. And this is going to be another response to this guy right here, which goes by the name Fresh Air Ministries, an Edomite, so-called white man, And basically what he's doing is, as you see in the title, he's proclaimed that Esau is not the white man. Just like Esau always does and always has done. He always tries to run away from his heritage. He proclaims to be every heritage except his own, except an Edomite. When it comes to Esau, it's like, oh, they're done away with. They were destroyed already. That's not us, But that's wrong, So we're here to, to prove you otherwise. You ask for a challenge, hey, well, challenge accepted, So now, and we're just gonna cut it straight to the point, get straight to it, because Esau is the so-called white man, and all the scriptures when it talks about Esau, all the characteristics of Esau only tie to the so-called white man, him being a murderer, a robber, a liar, This is we're gonna start with this book. Oh, Salakia, this is Brother Shakal
and Brother Khawadja
from the GMS Chicago branch. So we're gonna start off with this. This is Esther. Salakia, go ahead, Ak.
This is Esther chapter 3 verse 1. It says, after these things did King Azarias Ahasuerus promote Haman the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
And then now we're gonna tie well, basically this was the time of the Persians, So now Haman, at that time, he basically tried to
he was pretty much being set up to be like second hand to the king.
Right, at that time he was, but him being the devil, he didn't just want to be second hand, But it goes on to explain it, and if you read it for yourself, you get the whole details, But right now, what I want to stick to is Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite. All right. So now, get that first.
This is First Samuel's chapter 15, verse 2. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass."
Hey, so right there, it tells you, that Saul was ordained, and Saul was set up, and he had the Lord gave him a task to destroy all the Amalekites, right? It said, leave, spare none of them, slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep and camel and ass, right? Now skip down to verse 8.
Verse 8, it says, "And he took Agag the king of Amalek."
So there you go. He took Agag, right? So now when you go to Esther 3rd chapter, it says Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, meaning he was a descendant
Agag.
Of Agag, right? So now back on 1 Samuel 15.
First verse 9, well, verse 8 again, it says, and he took Agag, the king of
The
Amalekites,
Amalekites. Mhm.
alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and the oxen and of the fatlings and the lambs and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly.
Hey, so right there, he left them alive. He kept Agag alive right there. And certain things that he was supposed to utterly destroy. Saul literally had to destroy the Amalekites off the face of the earth right there. He had to, but he disobeyed, and and that's another story, another topic for another day. you know. Now skip to verse 32.
Verse 32. It says, then said Samuel, bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately,
Delicately.
and Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past.
Right. So then again, there go calls him Agag, the king of the Amalekites again. So now, Haman was an Agagite, meaning he was a descendant from this king, King Agag, and which this king was an Amalekite. So now eventually he King Agag gets killed, but the whole thing is Samuel never got rid of all the Amalekites. He never got rid of all the Amalekites. There were still Amalekites there. And in order for Haman to be of the lineage of Agag, the king of the Amalekites, Agag had a son. So that's how he didn't get rid of all the Amalekites when he was supposed to. So that lineage, kept on growing, and until Haman was born, and so on and so forth. And today those Amalekites will be the fake Khazars, the fake Jews who call themselves Israelites. So now that we'll get a Genesis 36 and 9.
Yeah. This is Genesis chapter 36, verse 9. It says, and these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons, Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau, Ruel, the son of Bashemoth, the wife of Esau, and the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, Kanaz, and Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife.
Right, so there you go. Amalek goes back to the lineage of Esau. So Haman goes back to Agag, the king of the Amalekites. Agag goes back to Amalek, which is one of the nephews of Esau. And there you go. You have that connection. Now, okay, now go to Esther. Go to Esther in Apocrypha 16 and 10.
All right, this is Esther in Apocrypha chapter 16, verse 10. It says, for Ammon, and Ammon is Haman. It says, a Macedonian, the son of Amadatha, which is Hamadatha, being indeed a stranger from the Persians' blood. It says, and far distant from our goodness, and a stranger received us.
Right, so there you go. It tells you, Ammon, a Macedonian. Keep that in mind, a Macedonian. the son of Amadatha, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood. So that's, he wasn't a Persian. We just explained he was what?
Edomite.
An Edomite. It says, and far distant from the goodness, from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us, which you could get the one you quoted, the 2:10, I think. That's there in the Apocrypha. I mean, in the book. The Jews' enemy.
This is this is Esther chapter 3 in the Apocrypha chapter 3 verse 10. It says, and the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy.
This chapter 3. What is chapter 4 then? Yeah, this is bugged out.
Three.
I went to 3. It only goes up to 6.
Damn. Well, because but this, it's like some of these apps don't have all the chapters. You know what I'm saying, or all the verses. Another thing Esau tries to do just to to hinder the truth.
Oh no, that's not. That's in the regular book. But I'll get it. That chapter 3.
This is
This is Esther chapter 3 verse 10. It says, and the king took his ring from his hand and gave it to Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. So he was clearly against the Israelites. That's why he did that thing to Mordecai. He wanted to get rid of the Israelites. He actually set up a decree to kill all the Jews.
I got the decree right here.
Hold on. Because it says back on Esther 7 and 10, for Aman a Macedonian, the son of Amadatha, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood, and far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us, So we already proved that he's a Edomite. So we know what he is. So, but we were proving how he's the Jews' enemy. How he really hated us. And only Esau, the so-called white man, has that hatred, that peculiar hatred towards Israelites, which are the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans. That's why he did the whole slave trade. That's why he did the whole genocide when he came over here to the Americas. Because he has that hatred for us. He really hates us.
And note it says a far distant from our goodness. You know what I'm saying? Meaning because the scriptures refer to Esau, Edom being the sons of the wicked. You know what I'm saying? So with them being the sons of the wicked means that that's their personality, that's their being. You know what I'm saying? That's that type of spirit that they have, that they born with, that they were created for, meaning that they can't do anything righteous at all.
That's right. So
they are complete opposite of the nation of Israel.
That's right. Skip down to that one. Verse 14. Yeah.
All right. Esther 16 and 14. It says, for by these means he thought, finding destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians.
That was always his intent. Right, because he was what? A Edomite, a so-called white man, a devil, a liar, a deceiver. So now, there you go. So now what? We went from Aman, we tied him to Agag, the king of the Amalekites. Amalekites will go back to Esau, and right now, right here, we're say, in this one, it calls him a Macedonian, you know, and it says that he wasn't a Persian, and he was far distant from our goodness, like the brother explained, you know. So now, go ahead, get down.
This First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1. It says, and it happened after that Alexander son of Philip the Macedonian.
The what?
The Macedonian.
The what?
The Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shedem, and had smitten Darius king of the Persians in Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
And there you go. There you go. That's the connection to Esau being the so-called white man. Hey, because Alexander is what? He's glorified here in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alexander the Great, all with him started civilization and all that. Hey, you white people glorify him. Hey, so here it is. We're giving you true history on your own nation. On a guy from your nation. You know how you guys go back to Esau. So it went from Haman to Agag, the king of the Amalekites, to Amalek, going back to Esau, to Aman being called a Macedonian, to Alexander being called the same thing, and they both and they both tried to take down the Persian kingdom, and only one succeeded, which was Alexander. So now, hey, I mean, what other proof do you want? There's the proof that you want it. Hey, be careful who you choose your fights with, man, because you just
lost.
You just lost, and you just opened a can of whoop-ass, man. Because hey, other brothers are doing videos on it too. So hey, there you go. Esau is connected to Alexander the Great. To the Greeks, which they weren't really Greeks. The real Greeks were Japhet. But there you go. That's the connection. Now, go ahead. Go to verse 9.
All right, this is First Maccabees 1 verse 9. It says, and after his death, meaning Alexander the Great, and after his death they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
Right, and there you go. After Alexander the Great died, there's 4 generals.
Yeah. Cassandra, Seleucus, Ptolemy, Lacenaeus. You know what I'm saying?
They put crowns, and they started ruling it. In the stead. And then what does it say? And evils were multiplied in the earth.
Cause they're pretty much the evil, and the Israelites are the good.
Yep. Now, go to Malachi 1:4.
Yeah, read verse 10.
Let's go.
All right, verse 10. Like Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever.
The border of wickedness, because everywhere the white man goes, he always got fuck something up, Everywhere he goes, he brings death. He brings just a whole bunch of wickedness. If I may get this, this is Habakkuk 2 and 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. And whose soul is lifted up? You know, Esau, the so-called white man, they're the proudest nation on the planet. You know, it says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, meaning by philosophies, doctrines, what he pushes. He is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home. You know, he doesn't stay in one place. He's a vagabond. You know, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death. Everything he touches is death. He fucked up the air. He fucked up the water. He fucked up the food. You know. And now, now he wants to fuck up, souls. You know, by trying to, the whole transhumanism shit. You know, if Esau isn't the so-called white man, who is? Who else has these characteristics? Nobody else. It says, and cannot be satisfied, you know, but gathered unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. You know, hey, and isn't America known as the great melting pot?
Mm-hmm.
You know, come on, man. Hey, everything ties up to you, white man, who really is Esau, Edom. You know, you can't run your heritage. You know,
and another thing, Esau Edom, he tries to run from who he is. You know what I'm saying? That's why they try to say that Esau Edom, like the brother was saying, that he's done away with, which he's not. You know what I'm saying? This is Ezekiel chapter this is Ezekiel chapter 28, starting at verse 2. It says, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, which is also
symbolic.
Yes, symbolic for Esau. It says, Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am God, I sit in the seat of the Most High, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man, and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go to this word called iconoclasm, what they do is that they put their images upon the true images. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have a picture with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Touching fingers with Adam. You know what I'm saying? But both of them are Caucasians in that painting, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When according to Daniel's 7 and 9, it goes into how the Heavenly Father Yahweh has woolly hair, man. You know what I'm saying? And they do the same thing with Yahweh Shai, who the world even calls Jesus Christ, and puts up the image of a so-called white man by the name of Cesare Borgia, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, which is that Cesare Borgia is the image of Jesus Christ, man. You know what I'm saying? When the scriptures clearly say that Yahweh Shai is a dark-skinned man, you know what I'm saying, with woolly hair, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you read John 14 and 9, Philip had asked, one of the apostles, Philip had asked Yahweh Shai to show us the Heavenly Father Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai said, have you not been with me long? You know what I'm saying? Actually, if you don't mind, I'll grab it right quick. This is John, because this precept proves that Yahweh Shai and Yahweh both look the same. You know, this is John 14, verse 8. All right, it says, Philip saith unto him, Lord, shew us the Father, and it sufficeth us. Verse 9. Yahweh Shai saith unto him, have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me have seen the Father, and how sayest thou then, shewest us the Father? You know what I'm saying? So Yahweh Shai is saying that, for one, it's twofold. That Yahweh Shai is saying that I look just like the Father in bodily features, and then at the same time I have the mannerism of the Heavenly Father, man. You know what I'm saying? He had the image of Yahweh, man. You know what I'm saying? Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? But we know where he is, and we know who he is. Why? Because he's the ones. He is Esau, even so-called white man, is the one who's promoting that iconoclasm upon the real images, man. You know what I'm saying? Which are dark images, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That was it. That was it.
Okay. All right. Well, we could just end it with this one, because we made our point, man. Esau is Edom, which is now which today would be the so-called white man. Oh, and that dude, he made a point that he married African women, right? He made it the Canaanites. When Esau took him wife,
Yeah.
and then he said, "Oh, so he married Africa. So how can Esau be the white man?" Hey, that it goes through lineage. It goes through the father. We say so-called white man because the majority of Esau